the YouTube Barber Academy, where we have over 900 videos to help you learn. And as you can see, I am going live with my friend here, Rusty Blades YouTube channel. He's got a great YouTube channel about all kinds of things under the sun. But I just want to tell you guys a little bit about him, and I want to share with you, and I want him to share his journey because I've known Rusty. How long have we known each other now?
We've known each other now for nearly 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I
Nearly
feel
4
like
years.
we have never met in person, but we have talked so much. We've just become friends. And initially, he was a subscriber, and he's just been through an awful lot. And I just want to go ahead and ask everybody to give him a round of applause because not only did he made it through all the mental battles, he also managed to purchase his own shop, set his own thing up, and also, for all my Americans watching, it's a little bit easier in this country, but when they dealt with COVID and everything else over there, it was much worse on them. In Florida, we barely really had any setbacks here. We're very lucky, but in some places in the world, it was really, really difficult to even, you guys weren't even able to work or do anything for a while.
No, we was literally nearly a full year where we couldn't even work. We weren't allowed to go in shops, college, anywhere. It was total lockdown, and we was unable to do anything. So, as you can imagine, starting out a barbering career at the beginning of a lockdown and a global pandemic
Yeah,
wasn't
because that's when you
easy. Was
started.
not easy, do you know. But like you said, I've managed to get through all that, and this is where I am now, and I've ended up with my own shop. So
That's great, bro.
unbelievable.
Nah, dude, I just want to say, I know we're live and everything, but like, I just want to say, bro, I'm proud of you and how far you've come, both on like YouTube as a person, and now, I really am wishing you well over there. Some about, I think anybody who ever sets foot in this business eventually wants to own their own shop, right?
Yeah,
Almost everybody, and then you have people who have either done the shop owner thing and they don't want to do it anymore. They just want to work in peace. Like, you got all walks of manner of life, but when you first start this career, it's always our dream to open our shop, and now you get to live yours. So tell them a little bit about where are you? Like, how could they find you? What are your plans for like advertising? Like, just let's see the shop. And Fatal, thank you guys for joining. Lewis, thank you guys for joining. Lewis says, Steve, what a journey you've done, especially when we was up at 3 a.m. watching Eddie Barber's YouTube Barber Academy from the UK. Well done, pal.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. We did. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was the thing, like obviously during those times. I mean, there wasn't a lot to do, was there? So, and starting out, obviously, I stumbled across your channel, and I was looking for basic 101, tutorials
Yeah.
to like initially start out, and I came across yours and your early videos where you was in a class and you had your students there, and it was just absolutely brilliant, and it really inspired me,
Hey,
and
how old were you? Because we got a comment here. Fatal's asking, what I think what he means is what is too old to start barbering? Like, so how old were you when you like first started to actually pursue this?
so I was 39. So you know what I mean. I'm not a spring chicken. I was quite late to the game, but um, going back, hair, like doing hair, was something that I wanted to do even when I left school. Do you
Yeah.
know, I had so many, like I was cutting people's hair with the cheap clippers, families, kids' hairs, and what have you. But going back 20 plus years, was like barbering just wasn't really the coolest thing to do. Do you know? And it wasn't
Yeah.
so much a
Yeah.
thing to do. It was, there was a lot of stigma
We were the
around.
dinosaurs back then, bro. Like, I was out there.
Exactly, yeah,
I always
exactly.
I always loved it. I always just wanted to do it. Like, back then, it felt like it was. I don't want to say like like I felt like I was more unique in a way because it wasn't like so many people doing it, and then even like filming and stuff, there wasn't hardly anybody filming it and putting, putting content out even 12, 10 years
Oh,
ago. And that's like kind of when I would go to the shows, dude, I wouldn't see another camera there. I wouldn't see another
yeah,
person trying to do the shit I was trying to do. And
yeah,
it was like me, Chris Basio, and I don't know, man, maybe like three more that I really can remember that were like, yo, we wanna keep pushing this. So now it's like I look at the whole industry and I'm like, wow, this has really gotten big. Like it is really something, and it just allows so many doors to open. Like all these people who wanna be barbers, who wanna do this for a living, they might think about it as like I'm just gonna cut hair and put hair on the floor. But dude, there's so many other things you can do now. You can
oh yeah,
represent a company,
definitely.
you can go into sales, you can work with products, you can there's so many other opportunities that are out here. And there's so many other companies that are starting to build and gain momentum behind them. So like, really, I can't think of a better time to, if somebody's sitting out there and you want to get into this, I can't think of a better time to do this. And
No,
Fatal,
totally.
I'm reading Fatal's comment, and thank you, Boli Mali from Sri Lanka says they're going to barber school. So shout out to you, my friend. He
Yeah.
said, I heard Chad started barbering at an older age. Now Chad is old enough to be Rusty's grandfather. All right. And and smash that thumbs up for Chad. He'll probably watch this later, but smash that thumbs up for Rusty and for Chad. But this is one thing I'll say, and then I want you to. He's 18 years old. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's a great age.
Okay, so I'm gonna say one thing about how old you can be when you go cut hair, but I want these people in the room to know that we're about to do a little tour, a little tour of Rusty's new shop. He's going to tell you where he's at, the things he's doing that he thinks are going to work. And also, I want to invite you guys to drop some comments and give him some advice, give him some encouragement, because when you first go into business, sometimes, man, you hit some dark days, you get a little worried, you think you're not going to make it. So the best piece of advice I can give anybody who's going through this is just, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not sold on yourself succeeding, it's gonna be so much harder. But if you wake up in the morning every day and you're like, I don't give a fuck what the issue is, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
out there, I'm gonna go get it. Other people might
yeah,
fail, but it won't be me. You know what I mean?
totally,
But
totally. I mean, you know, obviously, I'm going into this. It's a massive, massive risk. You
it
know,
is.
I was working at home. I've worked at different barbershops. Unfortunately, it didn't work out at these places. I left on good terms. You know, and then I ended up working at home in a converted outbuilding that I made into a little
Yeah.
barbershop where I could, get people in. So to take on a shop, to lease a shop is
Yeah.
massive because,
Because you
you
had
know,
no overhead before. Now you gotta make that overhead up every month, and it can get
exactly, yeah,
stressful. So give them some encouragement, drop some comments in there. And I just want to say one thing about being a little bit older when you go into this. All your other experiences that you have with whatever you're doing, whatever it is, you could be bagging groceries, working at a bar, I don't care. All of those experiences that you accrue throughout your life, they're all going to play a part when you decide to do this barbering. It's not like Chad started cutting hair and everything he did prior to that just went out the window, and it wouldn't help him. Chad was mature. He knew what people were wanting. He wanted to give everybody a great service. He wanted to be easy to talk to, and he just had this charisma and this ability to just be mature about how everything was going, and he was never afraid to ask for help.
yeah,
When Chad would struggle with a haircut, and even dude, I swear, sometimes he would just think he was struggling, and he would come over to me and be like, "Hey, can you take a look at this?" And he was just never afraid to do this. And you know what? The customers never bitch. Everybody was he was just a good vibe. So I know that it was being in the military, going through all the other stuff that he went through, that led him to say, "Hey, when I go into business for myself, um, this is how I want to conduct myself. This is what
yeah,
worked for other businesses that I worked for." So you're gaining all that life experience. You got that maturity. Really, really the barber in the house, yo. I'm
yeah,
getting pumped
really, the
whenever I see
barbers
really
here.
the barber in the house. I know you see my Bills take that big L yesterday, but it was so good meeting him in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the show. I feel like it would be cool if we could put really on the live one of these days. Really's going to join us. on the live. You know, even if I don't know if we can put more than 2 people or not, but if we can, Indiana is really in the house. Okay,
Yeah, that'd be
Steve-O,
cool.
give us a little tour of this barbershop, bro. I want to
Right.
see what
So,
it's like.
right, just bear with me a second. I'm going to try and keep it close to my chest here, just as I go around, because
Playing
I'm
it
going to
close to
show
the
from
chest.
I'm going to show from outside, but you've got to bear with me. I'm in England and it's absolutely pissing it down. So,
Oh, the rain.
it's stinking. So, this is
Hey, you know you can flip your camera here too.
so this is from the outside. Oh,
There you go.
there we
Now we
go.
can see it.
Right, so we're going in. So as we come in, I've done this a little bit cool, a bit different,
Let's go.
rather than just sticking up, a price list. So I've got me
Oh,
doing
I love
some.
that, bro. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so that was a little idea that I came up with, and then we put a bit of greenery in here just to make it, just a little bit of colour. Some sweets on there for when kids come in. We've got drinks, my drinks
Whoa.
fridge.
Oh,
So
Maron, you got a whole thing full of them drinks. Hey, you got a commenter asking where are you?
where am I? I am in East Yorkshire in England.
And for Americans, that's East Yorkshire.
Yeah, Yorkshire. Yeah. So that's my little fridge going on, and then behind I've just got a few products that a company sent out to me. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's Hair Bond. There's a lot of as you call it soccer. There's a lot of soccer players over in UK that use these
Yep.
products, and then we'll come round,
Grass fairies. Grass fairies.
and then this is the setup what I'm using at the moment. So I've got the
What we got there on that station? Let me see. Oh, you
so
got
I've got
Saber 2, Instinct. Well, you got all the Stylecraft goodies right there. Tight
yeah
guards. It's
yeah.
clean too.
So I put like a thing on there. So a couple of magnets. It's a good
Really,
little
you heard
idea.
that? Really, you heard that grass fairy? He didn't hear me. I said soccer was the grass fairy sport.
Yeah,
I'm just
pretty
teasing
much
you, man.
it is. To be fair, it is. And then just as we go around, we've just got some Barbicide, the products that I like tend to use. This was my best £150 I ever spent.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
got one too. The IVAC.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Um, honestly, when I first bought it, I was here and I had it delivered here, and my wife had said, "What have you wasted your money on?" That is
That
the
was not
the
a waste.
the best waste of money I have ever spent. So
I
as
tell you,
we
dude, we got a rule at our shop that like when you go to use that thing, if it doesn't suck the hair in, it's your turn to empty it out.
yeah
That's the rule.
yeah. So then I had a ring light put up, so that's like going out over onto where I cut hair. So I'm over here, so that's shining down onto there. Just my bonsai tree. Love a bonsai tree. TV just to have on it background. A little bit of music, not major, but just to have a little bit of a vibe going on. And then we've just got just in here, just a little bathroom so people can actually use a toilet because believe it or not, there's a lot of barbers where we are that don't even have a bathroom. So
Really?
it's ideal if you've got kids. And then in here, I've had to put a curtain up because there was a lot of nosy people walking in and just walking into my back room. This is
So
my office.
how many days have you been open so far?
So I've been open for 2 weeks. I'm
Nice.
just going into my third week now. Um,
How's business been? Have you been getting some guys in and
Unbelievable. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for more.
wow, good.
I've been absolutely chocker block, as we say over here. So I've been really busy. And then I'll just take you in here. So
Oh, we're going behind the curtain.
yeah,
Is this
so
the only fan? Is this the OnlyFans room?
yeah, it could be. I've got my casting couch here, look.
Got the casting couch.
Casting couch with my camera.
There you go.
And then, so I'll spin this round. So this is where I do my YouTube now. So I've got like a proper setup, you know, where I do that. So yeah, and then where I do like close-up videos, so I can, you know, like with top-down camera, I can put my phone on there, do all my top-down
Uh-huh.
videos. So yeah, so you know, life's good. Life's good at
Love
the
it.
minute. So that's my shop. What I've opened, and
Really cool.
oh, sorry, and this is just where all mess is. This is like what no one sees. So I've just
Yo,
got all my boxes.
you know what's nice about having this back room is like, all right. So when you first get started in business, normally, you're not having that many customers just knocking down your door right off the rip. If you are, that's great, man, because you know that you are in a good spot. You're in a good location where there's a lot of interest and people are just walking by. But what I
Yeah,
always try to tell people to do, man, is like when you got that little personal spot behind there, you could really be making the most use out of your time whenever you have downtime. You know?
exactly. And that was my whole idea behind this. That like one of the big things when I started looking for a shop was, I wanted a separate room to do, you know, do some YouTube videos. So, like you say, if I'm not busy, if I've got an hour or two where it's quiet, or like days like today, you know, it's absolutely chucking it down. Not many people wander out, you know, in this type of weather. But I've got my studio here now, what I'm using, and it just makes you proactive. You've got to be
Yeah.
proactive, do you
Yeah.
know, and use your time. Do you know, it'd be quite easy, you know, to put a pillar on there and get laid on there and just put my head down for a couple of hours.
Right.
But I'm just finding that because I'm here, I ain't got a client in. I've got some reviews to do. I can get on and I can do
Sure.
those. Do you know?
And that's the thing, man. Like 90% of the battle, when you're building that first, clientele and that first business there, 90% of the battle really is being there and making sure that, like, because you might think, all right, I'm gonna go home because nobody seems to be coming, and maybe it's 5 or 6 o'clock there. And at 6 o'clock, Joe was gonna walk in with two kids and he teaches maybe he's a coach for football, and all of a sudden the kids like the haircut and they start recommending you. One client can lead to so many more clients, and a lot of people don't really understand that. And another thing that I kind of think about a lot is like, customers that you have currently, they don't think of you all the time when they leave the shop. So sometimes you could just ask these clients too, the ones that you have, your close clients. You could just say, hey man, if you got any friends or family that you could send my way, I'm trying my best to build here, and just win them over, and you'd be surprised. People will go out of their way for you. And
Yeah.
really to answer your question, I tried to see if I could add another one. All I could do is two, so that's the max amount of guests, I guess, for now. But this is pretty cool that YouTube added this feature that we're able to like go live like this.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to do it more often, you know, and
Yeah,
even if it's just for 20 minutes, just to have a catch up, get people involved in what we're doing and that, you know. It's such a good idea. And you know, when you mentioned it, I just thought it'd be great, you know,
yeah,
to you know, if anyone's thinking of opening a shop, yeah, it's daunting. And you know, I sat and I contemplated, you know, for ages, is it the right thing to do? What if it don't work? But and then you've just got to think, scrap that, scrap that. What if it don't work? When it works,
yep,
and you're raking in the dollars, do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you've got to be positive. There's no point in going into it and thinking what if, because
yep.
you know I
And
could
this
get
would
run
be a
over
fun,
tomorrow.
like, this would be fun. I'm reading Really's comment here. This would actually be kind of fun to show off just some different barbershops around the country, so if anybody out there is watching and you want to show off your shop one of these days, reach out to me. We'll do another one of these. We'll have them kind of maybe we can learn from each other, different things, like already having the screen right up front, just kind of like playing on a loop, showing some of the things that you're doing. I think that's cool. I think that lends a little bit of authenticity, and there's different stuff that people do around the country. We could all learn from each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, where I've opened this shop, right? I've lived here in Goole all my life. So I'm 42 now, right? So I'm not a young pup anymore.
Hmm.
But you know, I cannot believe that nobody in Goole, where I live, has done this. We've obviously, we've got a lot of Turkish barbers that are on the main street. So I'm slightly off the main street here. And we've got, let me think, there's about nine Turkish barbers,
Wow.
right? Now, none of them are appointments, they're all walk ins, which means you get so much traffic in there where people are going in. You've got young kids who are like 5 or 6 years old that particularly don't want to go to a barber's in the first place, but then they've got to sit in a chair waiting for 45 minutes to possibly even an hour, um, which is going to stress them out anyway.
Yeah.
And then they've got to sit in chair for another possible half an hour. So that's
Yep.
an hour and a half of their time. Now, I've come up and I've put a booking system in place so people can go on, they can see my availability, they can book. I do welcome walk ins as well, because obviously you're not going to have a full day of
Yeah.
bookings. So if I'm not busy, or if I've even got a client in the chair and someone walks in, you know,
That's the other
I'll,
thing too. Like the other thing too is I would do this all the time, but like when I was first building, I would try to get people to rebook before I left always, and then I would try to get them to do repeating appointments. So basically, my pitch would sound something like this. I said, "Listen, man, I really want to make sure I'm able to get to you in the future. You could just sit down, get your haircut, go. Won't have to wait, nothing. Let me just go ahead and rebook you. How's it sound? Like maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks? When do you want to do your next appointment? Like, make sure that's part of your conversation. If you guys are still building, make sure that's part of your conversation. Rebook them yourself personally before they leave, and that way, they already got a plan to come back to you, and it's just going to keep the books growing. And as the books start to grow, then you can start to kind of warn them. You can say, look, if you really want to come back in 2 weeks, I'm starting to really fill up here. I just want to put you on a repeater so that we don't have any issues. Next thing you know, you're going to have 100 people on repeaters, and they're not going to go anywhere else, and that's just going to start to grow. So in the beginning, there might be a little bit of you got to fake it till you make it, but it's all about that mentality. That the mentality is, in my mind, whether I'm booked or not. If I move to Tennessee next week and I don't know nothing and I don't know nobody, in my mind, I'm already a busy barber. I'm already, in my mind, it's
yeah,
already all happened, and I'm just up there thinking, okay, man, make sure you rebook because the train's going to start rolling down here. I know what I'm doing. This is going to be a really busy chair, and I want to make sure I can still get you in. I want to take care of you, and the above and beyond thing. When you go above and beyond for people, every one of us has walked into a business where one of the employees there just really went above and beyond, and it really made the experience truly special.
yeah,
And I would also preface this by saying, if you don't go above and beyond, you could really screw yourself up. Like we went to Hooters last night to watch the Bills game, and it's this the woman behind the counter, man. She messed up our order like twice, and then even a third time, right? And we didn't really want to say nothing the first time. The second time we said something, third time we said something, and instead of just like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I'll get this made right. I'll do this the right way," like she became kind of combative and argumentative, and I'm like, I can't. You could never be a business owner with that mentality. Like
yeah,
that experience I had there, I'm probably not going to go back to Hooters.
yeah.
And it's just, it was pretty much an awful experience, like top to bottom. And I think to myself, like, you remember that viral video that went around with that dude with the customer service thing? I don't know if you've seen it, dude, but he's like,
I don't think I've seen that.
so he goes, what are you going to do if you have a customer becomes argumentative or they're unhappy? And it's a job interview. The guy's at a job interview. And he's like, well, first of all, I'm gonna tell him I ain't with all that fuck shit. All right, I'm from the streets. I ain't but listen. Like he just was so funny, bro. I'm like, Bill, this just took a turn for the worse. But like, really, without saying those words, without swearing and everything like that, that's pretty much what that waitress was like yesterday.
Yeah,
She she just became combative and argumentative. So when you go like flip the script on them, they sit down, you treat them really good, you go above and beyond. You know, sometimes you got a client really makes tip you really good, bro. I'll go grab a product off the shelf and give it to them free. You know,
yeah,
I'll do something, and you know, whatever it takes, and even just to get that other customer in, I'll say, hey, look, anybody that you know that you send me, if they mention your name, the first cut will be free. I'll do it for free.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Kenny did
yeah.
that the other day.
There's loads that you can do. Um, all my slots, every slot I do, is an hour slot. Every slot is an hour. So every customer, whether you're having a shave all over, like a grade 4 all over, to a skin fade and a beard,
Mhm.
everyone gets an hour. Now, people have said to me, "Oh, but you can't. Why are you doing it in hour slots? Why do you know it only takes?" But yeah, it does. I agree. I agree with that.
Yep.
But from, I mean, a little bit about me. I'm 42. When I was 13, I had my first panic attack. So when I was 13, which is so young to deal with anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, back then, nobody really knew anything about mental health issues. Was just
Yeah.
brushed
Yeah.
under. It was a taboo subject, and it just got brushed under. So from the age of 13, even up to the present day, I suffer with anxiety, panic attacks. I tried to commit suicide twice, and I was self-harming for I don't know how many years. I've ended up with a family with 3 kids. One's 17, just turned yesterday. One's 11, and one's coming up 4. Did I ever think in my wildest dreams that I would be from where I was to where I am now? Do you
Yeah.
know, never in a million years. Do you know,
I'm
and
glad you came through that, man. Because I
yeah,
remember you sharing some of that with me in the very beginning when you were you know, when you would just drop comments and stuff, and then we first started talking. I remember in the very beginning you kind of sharing some of that stuff, and that kind of motivated me to make a couple videos about that as well. Like just like what you were going through, albeit it was definitely at an unusual age to have something like that happen so early.
mm,
But I think almost all of us at some point in our life are probably going to deal with. Some
yeah,
people it's going to be more severe than others, but it you know it happens to a lot of people out here. And you know, just talking about it makes people realize that you know you're not alone in most of the stuff you go through. You're only alone in it when you keep it bottled up and you
God, you
don't
are.
you know reach out and try to get some help or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
and
let this
and
be an
that
example. If anybody's out there feeling that type of way, like you know, let Steve be an example here because he pulled through it
definitely.
and
I'm always on Instagram. Do you know, if anyone ever feels like they just want to have a little chat, do you know, I'm always on other end of a mailbox or even a video call. Do you know,
yep.
it's but yeah, that was kind of leading to my hour slots. For me, it isn't all about the money. It was never about the money. You know, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to earn a lot of money, but some people I've known in the past, they're on, you know, really good 9 to 5 jobs where they're earning a really good thing. But
Hmm.
that's a lot of the time is just dragging themselves out of bed to go do that. Like
Yep.
I'm getting out of bed and I don't even see it as a job, you
Right.
know, because I love it. It's just
That's the
I
best feeling.
absolutely love it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that when you can turn someone out with a nice fade or you know even just walk out with a smile on the face, you
Yep.
know,
One of
and
my
it
like one
is
of my favorite fucking things in the whole business, dude. Like I speak with a lot of these younger young men, right? And they, you know, some of them when we get to talking, you know, they know that I've been through some shit that I've, you know, the life that I lived wasn't the greatest up until a
yeah,
certain point when I got more mature. And I love to kind of pour into some of these younger guys, man, and just try to kind of explain to them that, hey, a lot of the stuff that you're doing in high school, a lot of the stuff that people that you're looking up to and the things that you think are cool, like I promise you, there will come a day when none of this matters and it's only going to damage you.
Yeah.
And the people that you're looking up to, a lot of these people who they're going to wind up broke. They're going to wind up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And if you can
Definitely.
like,
Yeah.
but the other crazy thing is, I've been doing this a long time, and I'll tell you what, dude, I think some of these young men, they got their head on so fucking straight now. It's unbelievable. I got young men who are thinking about businesses. Like it's like the people who are following like Gary Vee and a lot of these like entrepreneurial kind of efforts, like that's become something. And a lot of these young guys, dude, they're coming in, they have the desire to start businesses. They're not thinking about just college alone and go work for
Yeah.
somebody. Like a lot of them are thinking on the right, man, I got this young kid, Kyle. What a nice kid. This kid, he could interview, he could do the best interviews ever. I remember I was
Yeah.
kind of messing around with him one day. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the one asking you questions about yourself. You got me talking about myself this whole haircut. But the thing about it is, Kyle is entrepreneurial in spirit. He came, he learned a little bit of video stuff, and now he's filming videos. He's flying around and doing these things, and it's just like, bro, I'm loving seeing young men come into the barbershop with those principles, that mentality. Like, they're
Yeah.
they're not they're not concerned with all the drugs and everything that everybody else is doing. They're thinking like, yeah, you do you. You do whatever it is you do, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to make some money over here. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find a way forward over here. And I think having that, he's got a little bit of that dog in him. Like
Yeah.
he's got a little bit of that. The dog is kind of like that unwavering belief that you will make it.
Yeah.
And
And that's great, isn't it? That's what you want. You
yeah,
just want to be focused on that. And if he thinks he's going to do it, he probably will do it. Do you
yep,
know? And not the thing is, the problem is nowadays there's so many followers. Do you know? Like you'll
yeah,
get one person, and then they'll all follow. They'll all follow suit. I was never
yep,
a follower. I was always I wouldn't say a leader, but I was always on my own path, even through
yeah,
all the dark times or whatever. I never followed everybody else. Do you
yep.
know?
I might have
And
encouraged. I might have encouraged some chaos. I mean, yeah, think of where we are too. Like as just like nowadays bullying and all the things like that, it's real frowned upon. I don't know what goes on in high school today. I imagine the bullying still is there to some extent,
yeah,
but like there's some awareness on the outer edges of it. But I mean, like you see some of the stuff, like back in the day you would have got beat up for doing a lot of the stuff. uh, you know what I
yeah,
mean,
big
that
time, yeah,
is just considered normal now. Like if somebody feels some type of way about something, somebody has different views about something, I mean that could be enough to get you beat up back when I went to high school and you went to high school. But like
yeah,
nowadays, it seems like there's a little more tolerance around some of these things, and I think it's pretty much a good thing for the most part. It's like we all have an opportunity here to do something great with our lives, and if we throw it away, we all have that opportunity also. So
yeah,
it's like you stay the course, you do the right things, man. You can really make it, and it's just like in a way, like you're getting your shop, you're 42 years old, right? You got your shop, you're 42 years old. A lot of the time on your way there, you weren't so sure you were going to make it to 42, let alone, be at
exactly,
42 and be successful. So it's like you're on your own path to get here. And I know there's a lot of people that are probably sitting out there like, man, I'm never going to get where I want to be in life. Every birthday, I used to feel like depressed because I just didn't have the things that I assumed that I would have achieved by
mm,
that birthday. Like I remember I used to
yeah,
just not even want to celebrate. I think it also is a little weird when people go and throw themselves a big birthday party. They're like 46. Yo, you coming? It's my 46th birthday party, bro. It's about to be, we got these, flyers. We're going to, like, to me, that's a little vain, bro. It's like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I'll be honest. Like, I could probably have a party in a telephone box with the amount of people that would come to mind. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not. I'm not. That just does not bother me. Do you know? I've got my close knit of friends, and that's all that matters. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
else. I've got my family, and I've got a few friends that would bend backwards for me, and that's all you need. I
yep,
think what's point in trying to just befriend everybody? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because I'll be honest, a lot of people like that would just stab you in back anyway. So, do you know what I mean? So,
the
it's not about having.
so so wait, so you got 1 hour slots And what is the hours of your business if anybody's watching that wants to go there?
Right. So my hours of business are, so I start at 10 o'clock every, so at 10 o'clock in the morning, and that is on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on a Saturday, I open at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then on the
Nice.
Tuesday, I work until 6 p.m. And then Wednesday, 6 p.m. And then I do 2 late nights. So I stay open until 8 p.m.
Nice.
But the
Nice.
reason, but again, the reason behind why I do that is because my son, Rory's autistic, so he likes his routine on a
Sure.
morning. He likes me to take him to school and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Family
I
first, buddy.
yeah. So I work around you know around Rory a lot of the time. Because he likes his routine. And like I
That's
said,
good.
it's not about I could start at 6 a.m. every morning. But
Yeah.
I think it's totally different where we live. People just don't. People
Yeah.
wouldn't get up at that time to come. I mean, I know I've seen yourself. Like you'll be at shop at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you've got people in. It's just not like that around here. It's
Yeah.
quieter. It's
What's
Goal
this
is
dude? Look at it this way. Like the reality is I don't think it really makes too big of a difference what your schedule is. What I think matters is that you stick to it. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So if you advertise that you're doing this, this, and this, as long as you stick to that, then people can rely on that. People say, "Hey, Steve's there 5 days a week." If I
Yeah,
can't find him within the 5 days a week, and the 50, 60 hours that he's working, you've
yeah,
made yourself available to them. And
yeah,
that's the important thing. And I'm kind of working on YouTube, constantly and things like this, and sometimes getting into the shop early. Initially, it was for that. I would go there. That's how that all started. I would go there at 5 a.m. I'm an early riser. I like to be up early. It's just the
yeah,
way I am. I've watched sunrise almost every day of my life. I've watched the sunrise, and
yeah,
I like doing that. But the reality is, I was going to the shop just to do those YouTube videos and to do that content. And then people would text me, and I'd say, "Hey, you can come at 5." I didn't think people would do it either. And then
yeah.
the next thing you know, I'm finding out that the cops in our town they end their shift at 6 a.m. The ones who do
Right.
the overnights. I would have a bunch of those cops come in afterwards. There's other people who work late, and they're up still. So it's just really, I think you can do it around any time as long
Yeah.
as you're consistent, bro.
Exactly, and that's like the biggest thing is consistency. So
Yeah.
that those days are consistent. There's times where, like you say, you might have a couple of hours slot and there's no one booked in, and it could be quite easy just to go. I'm going to shut shop,
Yeah.
um, and I'm going to block off my time so no one can book it or whatever. But that is, I've picked my times, I've picked my days, and that is what I'll be working.
There you go.
The other nice thing about it is that when I shut this door on a night and I leave this shop, that's it. It's
Yep.
family time then. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's been great separating my family time and my work and
Yeah.
YouTube time. It's been so nice to actually do that and just close the door,
Yep.
turn the lights off, and then go right
No,
when
I
I get
feel the
home.
same way, bro. If
Yeah,
if you're not doing this for family, I don't know what it's all for.
yeah,
My son was like, "Dad, you're gonna buy me this or that." I'm like, "Shane, I don't work this hard, um, to not take care of you." You know what I
yeah,
mean? You know, the other
exactly.
day,
Yeah,
the other day, my son, he actually thought that I think he thought that I have to pay monthly for him. Like I purchased him from some place and I had to pay monthly for him. He's like, "Wait a minute, you gotta pay for me, Dad?" I'm like, "Bro, you probably cost me like 40 grand a year." He's like, "So what is that like monthly?" I'm like, "It's a lot, bro. I mean, I."
yeah.
he goes, he goes, "Wow." He was like blown away. He's like, I think he thought I like maybe I purchased them from Amazon and I'm doing the monthly payment thing or something like that. But
It's great, isn't it?
yeah,
And like you say, if you're working all them hours and you can't look after your family, then what's the
yes,
point? You
there's
know
there,
what I
there is
mean?
no point if you know what I mean.
Exactly,
That's the beauty of it. But
exactly. But like I say, I, I've I've opened this shop, and I just want to be a little bit different to everybody else around here. Do you
Hmm.
know, the drinks in the fridge, they're free. I don't charge anyone for them. You know, if you want to, like everyone who comes in, you know, whether I know you or not, hiya, how you doing? Do you like a
Yeah.
drink?
Yeah,
There's,
yeah.
you
No,
know,
that's a great thing too, and it's also great to have those items there because like there's times where like your schedule might get a little messed up, and somebody's waiting for longer than they should be waiting or something like something I do all the time just to acknowledge their presence because you may be working with your customer, maybe you're really involved, conversating and everything, but you
yeah,
don't want that person in the lobby to start feeling some type of way. So sometimes it's good to just step away from what you're doing and say, hey, let me get you a drink. I got this. Is there anything else I could do for you? I'm sorry, I'm running a little bit behind, but like just the acknowledgement sometimes
yeah,
will stop somebody from walking out the door. Because like sometimes when people are just sitting there, they start getting these crazy thoughts in their head, like, oh,
yeah,
Ed don't care about me. Look at him. He's
yeah.
yelling about the
No,
bills. He's talking about this and that. I'm moving while I'm cutting hair. A lot of people, they cutting, they start talking and they do this. And then they go back to cutting and they start talking and they do this. But you got to learn how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time sometimes
yeah,
around here.
yeah. And I'm not very good at that. No,
No,
I'll be honest. I'm pretty shit at that. To be honest, I'm a good talker. I can talk to people and what have you. And you know the feedback what I've been getting has just been unreal. You know,
that's
like
great, dude.
a lot of positive reviews. You know, where we live, there's a lot of barbershops, like Turkish barbershops and what have you. And you're always going to get that, oh, another barbershop. But
Yeah, sure,
to
sure.
me, it isn't just another barbershop. Do you know?
Yep,
Um, like obviously, there's a place for everybody. There's a place for
sure,
Turkish
sure.
barbers. There's a place, where we are. Like I say, it's very unique where we are. The fact that
Nice. Hey, I
um,
gotta say, I really like the like I'm sure there you probably take this for granted because a lot of the buildings look like they've been there a long time and stuff like that. But I just think it looks so cool. Like out there, like I love looking at like old buildings, old architecture, things that have been up for a
yeah,
long time, like things like that really that was kind of cool about Fort Wayne when I went to Fort Wayne in Indiana. That's an old city and some of the buildings that are there, you could tell they've been there for like 100 years or more. And I
yeah,
just think it's so because everything in Naples, Florida, like Naples, Florida was really built up pretty big within the last 10 years.
yeah,
So you really don't see anything that made, and there was a lot of hurricanes and stuff too. So you really don't see anything that was super old that really made it from all of that. There's not much
yeah,
like that here. So I
yeah.
think it's really cool. But listen, I got to get going. But I really appreciate you for jumping on here. And everybody knows now where to find him. He is in Gould. Shoot out the address real quick.
So I'm in Goole, East Yorkshire. So it's a little town. It's commonly known as Sleepy Hollow because there aren't many people here. But yeah, so if anyone's
That's
around
where they
this
filmed the
area,
movie, The Headless
I'd,
Horseman.
yeah, like that, yeah, pretty much, yeah. And I've just seen on here Lewis. I don't know if Lewis Harrison's still in here, but he said next time I'm up north, I'm definitely going to come in and get a fresh trim. More than
Awesome.
welcome. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So thanks for having me on anyway,
You
Eddie.
bet.
It's been great. And I know people have took a
Also,
little bit something out of this.
guys, make sure you follow Rusty Blade's YouTube barber. He's been working hard. He's been putting out a lot of content. So smash the thumbs up. Give this man a follow. And we will catch you in a future live. Me and him are going to go live. We'll talk about ghosts and paranormal shit, some politics,
Yeah,
something else.
yeah.
All
We
right.
can talk about all.
All
Nice one,
right,
mate.
you guys. We appreciate you
Uh,
guys for jumping in here. We'll catch you in the next one. Steve O, take it easy, brother.
and you, mate. Bye bye.
Later.